Hey TK, we're gonna go ahead and do some math now. So today we are starting a new math unit. We're starting a new packet, and our objective is what we are going to learn. I can write how many. So let's look at what tools we're gonna need to help us with this objective. So if you notice here, we are going to be writing. So we're definitely going to need our hands. So for right here, we're going to use our hands. Now, we are going to be answering how many questions. When you answer a how many question, what do you have to do to get the answer of how many? You have to count. So when we're counting, we definitely need to use our brain. When we're answering our how many questions, we're definitely going to be using our brain. So this is what we're going to be working on today. We have our build and write math. Now, if you notice here, we have a builder. That's because we're going to be working on building numbers in different ways. That means that we're going to be thinking about showing numbers in lots of different ways, what numbers are hidden inside other numbers. And to start that, we need to review, we need to go back and remember, how do we answer how many questions? And before, when we would answer how many questions, we would use our voice. We would tell each other how many we see. But now, we're going to be writing the answer because we just did a whole unit on our number study book. We just learned how to write our numbers and to show them in different ways. On number lines, in 10 frames with drawings. So we're going to be using our hands to actually write the numbers out this time. So to get started, we're going to look at some how many questions. So I'm going to put some things up on the board here and we're going to do it together. Okay, so here's our problem here. We're going to call this a picture problem because we have a picture here and we need to use the information given to us to solve the how many question, to answer the how many question. So let's look at this picture. I see a lake and I see some animals in it. Now let's look at our question. It says, how many otters in the lake? Now let's look at our lake. I see an otter and a polar bear. How many otters are in the lake? One, just one otter in the lake. So I'm going to write my answer because remember our objective is to write our answer to the how many questions in this answer box. Here's my answer box right here. And notice it has a dot at the top. That's where I'm going to be starting my numbers because when we're writing our numbers, we always want to start at the top of our box. Now, the answer to our question, remember how many otters in the lake, was 1. So I'm going to be writing a 1. I'm going to be writing a 1. So a 1 is just a line down from the top to the bottom. So now I've done my number 1 here, and we answered our how many question because we wrote the answer. Let's try one more. Good job, you guys. Here's another question. Up here, we see our picture problem. We have some animals in a house. We've got some Perry the Platypus. Now, here's our question right here. How many polar bears in the house? Are there any polar bears in this house? No, there's not. There's no polar bears in the house. So what number would I need to use to show how many? 0. I would be writing a 0. Now, here's my answer box down here. I need to write my answer in this box. Now to do that, I'm going to look at this dot here, and that's where I'm going to start writing my number. So remember, I'm writing the number 0. And a 0 just looks like a big oval or an O. So I'm going to start at the dot, and I'm going to fill up my whole box with my 0. So there's my answer. So the how many question was, how many polar bears in the house? And I'm looking up at my picture problem. There are no polar bears in this house. So I need to write the number 0 in my answer box. And there it is. Nice job, you guys. Let's try one more. All right, guys, here's our last one. So here we've got 2 guys up here in a box. Here's our picture problem. Now let's look at our question. How many Perry the Platypuses in the box? So let's look up here at our picture. What do we see? How many Perry the Platypuses do we see? 1, right, we see 1. So what do we have to do? Remember, our objective is to answer the how many questions by writing. So what do we need to do? We need to write the number 1 in our answer box. So here I'm going to start at the black dot, because remember, we always start at the black dot when we're writing. And I'm going to write my number 1. So just line down from the top. So the question, the how many question was, how many Perry the Platypuses in the box? And I'm going to answer in my answer box with 1. There's 1 Perry the Platypus in the box. Nice job, you guys. You did so good. So here's what you have to do now. You're going to be working on your page number 1 of your Build and Write book. So here, you're going to see some same things that we worked on today. You're going to see some picture problems and some questions. You need to use the answer boxes to write your answer. You guys are going to do awesome. I know you can do it. I'll see you back here tomorrow. I can't wait to see your awesome math work. TK rocks!